do you do?
So my name's Celia and I'm the Managing Director of the Wellbeing Farm, which is a wedding and events venue based in Bolton.
So the description of the business?
Okay, so it's a very fun, quirky and magical wedding and events venue based in Bolton. It's based on a farm and we deliver approximately around 65 weddings a year based here from the farm.
Before you worked with Martin and the team, what were your frustrations and issues?
Well, let's say that Martin was my fourth accountant and I never quite got what I needed from an accountant. It was always kind of too complicated. I didn't get the right reports, didn't get any kind of bookkeeping help actually into the business, and I didn't meet with them that often, and it was just kind of overcomplicated, I think, in terms of understanding the requirements for running a business.
So what support were you looking for?
Very much cash flow forecast, somebody to go through and understand the accounts, kind of a management reports. Very much somebody who would, you know, it's complicated. I'm not a numbers person, I'll be honest. So I wanted somebody to just explain the figures to me, explain the numbers, and just give me sort of heads up if it was going wrong or anything like that. And I think it's the reporting mechanism more than anything.
So why did you choose to work with Rivington?
I basically chose Rivington through recommendations. I belonged to a group of entrepreneurs called within an organisation called the Entrepreneur Circle, and I had sent out a kind of I'd made up a pro forma or a specification of what I was looking for from an accountant, and sent this out to the group, and Martin Rivington Accounts came up as a kind of recommendation. And so because Martin and Rivington Accounts was linked to the Entrepreneur Circle, I kind of, you know, got in touch, and the rest is history.
What was the outcome of working with Rivington?
I think it's very different to what I had before. I have Martin Horton from Rivington Accounts actually comes here every month and has a management meeting with us, and he presents this amazing kind of monthly reporting analysis, which kind of gives all the trends in a very easy, as you can see, graphical kind of format of what you can use. It tells me exactly at a glance where I'm heading in for problems, which areas I need to focus on in terms of marketing. It gives me forecasts of sales against budgets, against revenue and profit margin. It tells me my break-even point. It gives me all of this future forecasted profits, everything, so many graphs. I never had anything like this, and it is absolutely brilliant that not only do I get this report, but he actually makes you know, to come out and actually kind of go through it. And even when I just had my annual accounts back from Martin, and it was sent with a very helpful little video which just talked me through the accounts, whereas before you were just sent it in an envelope and you're like, what on earth does this mean? And then you have to wait for like the accountant to get in touch and to make an appointment, and you do worry because you look at some of these figures and you think, oh my goodness, what on earth does this mean? Is it good or is it bad? And I think that having that little kind of video that accompanied the accounts when it was sent to you straight away, that you could watch, and it literally went through page by page of what everything meant, was just so good. I've never had that before from anybody, really. And then obviously, you know, the fact that Rivington provide a bookkeeper every week, and it just makes life so much easier because you develop a relationship with the bookkeeper, with the accountants. They become kind of part of your extended team. They get to know the business, and it's a really good working relationship, and it becomes more that kind of you have so much security, and you feel so much better running a business that somebody's kind of keeping an eye on the figures and the numbers, which, you know.
So how did you find working with Martin and the team?
Well, again, they're very easygoing. He's not like a typical accountant, you know. As I said, this is my fourth one. Very easy, down to earth, very approachable, very they take time to understand your business, they take time to personalise the reporting. They don't just produce something that is, this is what I've produced for everybody else, now you can have it. It's a bespoke service that they offer, very, very different to what I've experienced before. And I think the fact that the reporting is just so amazing, and also kind of when Katie the bookkeeper comes here, it's very approachable, very flexible with what she'll cover, and always has got the answers for you while you're here. And I think between Katie and Martin, it produces such a great service for what you want as a business owner.
In what specific ways do you feel Martin and the team at Rivington Accounts had your interests at heart?
I think Martin and his team go out of the way to just really understand the business. They don't just produce a sort of a report that here, this is what I've done, and give it to everybody. They take time to come and understand the business, they understand where you're at, they understand the help and advise on areas, and we've covered so many things since Martin has been here, and he doesn't just sit and for the meetings which are every month. He doesn't just sit for like half an hour and present the figures and clear off. He sits, he debates, he listens, he joins in, and with constructive advice and helpful advice on how to improve things. And I think that's just such a refreshing service that you get from an accountant.
How would you compare them to other accountants you've worked with?
Right, so in terms of other accountants that I've worked with, I just think Martin and his team are very, very easygoing, hands-on. They make accounts understandable. They make finance easy to understand. You feel safe with them. Before Martin came along, and Rivington, I used to have sleepless nights with cash flow worries, and oh gosh, it was horrible. I used to kind of be going into the bank thinking, kind of, have I got any money in there? And now I know I have. It's the peace of mind. You can sleep better, you relax better, you can run your business better, and I know that if I'm having a problem in 6 months ahead, I now know about that, rather than just being like an ostrich with a head in the sand. I'm absolutely, the forecasting that you get is absolutely brilliant.
What would you say to anybody considering working with Rivington?
So if anyone else was sort of considering working with Rivington, I would be saying to them, I wouldn't hesitate to recommend them at all. I think the approachability, the service that you get, the bespoke service that you get, the kind of advice that you're given, always, if you've got a query, they're always at the end of the phone or an email to pick up, and if you don't quite understand it, we'll send you one of these little helpful videos just to explain things. And they explain things in layman's terms. There's no accountancy jargon. It's very, very easy to understand. And for a finance person or a non-finance person, for me, who really didn't get the grasp on finance, I have completely changed my whole. I actually look forward to receiving the financial reports rather than previously when I used to always dread them. Yeah.
How do you feel now compared to before?
Well, compared to now, from now, and having had the services of Rivington to previously, I just feel so much more secure in my business. I have been able to use the information to make recruitment decisions. I've been able to expand my business on the back of the information that Rivington have provided to me. It's no longer oh gosh, could I afford that? And what will be the implications? It is, you can afford it, and this is the knock-on effect. Everything's budgeted. I know exactly what my budgets are. I know it's monitored, trends are given, and I know that if something is kind of not quite within budget or going off, I know that Martin and Katie would keep an eye out for me and warn me if anything was going amiss or anything like that. And so I think it just helps you sleep better as a business owner.